fleet, nerve, authority.
Good afternoon, everyone. Everyone having a good time with the con so far? All right, so our talent about to come out that door is beyond legendary. Over 2,000 voice roles. She's won a Grammy. I couldn't possibly go over as much as she's done in her life, but if you ever attended one of her panels, one of the sweetest souls you'll ever talk to. Is everybody ready? Yeah. Ready for you, Miss Gray?
And I was walking right out into usually there's like a thing, like a backstage, so I was like,
Well,
here.
okay, just gonna ask a few quick questions, and then we're gonna line up in front of the microphone over there for questions.
Okay.
So, we want to take as many questions as we can. We ask everyone to be respectful of the next person's time.
Oh,
Let's take a
I
question.
thought they were being respectful of me, and I was like, whatever. Be rude as well.
This is your show, we'll do whatever you do. So anyways, your career, we could possibly go over. And just as briefly, I mean, just an incredible talent. Thank you for coming to Alabama.
Here, I was here a couple of years ago, and I love it. Remember the airport? I was like, you know this airport. I was at a snack. So I'm like, there's a.
Welcome to Rocket City. So, how does it feel to have so many notches in the I mean, hey,
That's like I slept like a
career.
My notches. Gosh, until I started doing cons, it was, you do all this stuff in the studio and you don't know you're affecting so many people. Then about Tara Strong brought me to a pony, a pony convention. I think I was like, I don't know, I'm not in the ponies, so I'm just going to be the nerd at the whole thing. Nobody's going to want to talk to me. And I was right. I was at a table. Nobody was at my table. She had like a line around the whole block. And I'm like, she just wants to make me feel bad about myself. That's why but it was fun. We shared a hotel room. It was fun. But this one person came up and was like, are you Zula on Avatar: The Last Airbender? And I was like, I think so. It's familiar to me, and they were like, hold on a second. They got their phone. They're like, oh my God, you are. And then they started telling people and increasing my mind. I was like, yeah, Tara. I'm at the pony convention kicking her ass. But then she was like, you should record me. So I was like, okay. So I started coming every weekend almost now. I go all over every weekend. I take a month off for my kids' spring break. And they were like, you're never here on the weekends. And I was like, but other parents are, I'm here all week, They're like, the nannies are always with us on the weekends and the parents are there. And I was like, yeah, but during the week I'm there and the nannies are with the other kids. Anyway, so it's LA. It's LA. There's never any parents in the park. They're all I always feel alone parent in the park. Anyway, but so I go all the time and everybody tells me their wonderful stories and sometimes I'm crying, laughing. And people go, well, I went through illness and I watched Avatar in the hospital room, or my husband and I got together because of this show, because I was like, you have to watch this show, and then they start watching it and then it becomes their thing. And anyway, I brought together. There's a lot of babies out there because of the suit. I'm through a gay awakening, and I'm like,
so which character, everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
So which character do you find people connect to?
oh, Azula, definitely Azula. Yeah, it's like Azula, she's Daphne. You can't forget Daphne. She's up there too. So it's it's split between Azula and Daphne, but then and there's people who bring up their little goth girls who bring up their nanny stuff. Then that's just a girl. I think started watching that recently, and they were like, "This is inappropriate. We love it." Yeah, I love that show too. Danny Phantom. There's a lot of Danny Phantom people. Those together all the time.
It's your favorite that you connect.
Well, I didn't even see Avatar until about 2 years ago. My 11-year-old son was like, "You should watch this show." He said, "My friends say that you're Azula," and I was like, "Yes," and I knew all the quotes and everything, but I hadn't watched it. Asa, Asa, anyway, but yeah, so he got me to watch it, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't remember this show. It's so good." And I wanted to stay up a little bit because I wanted to see the next episode, so I would go, "Do you want to stay up for another one?" And he was like, "Yeah, thank you." And then it was like 10:30 at night. He's like, I'm like, "Let's do another one." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, oh, it's so late. I have to watch another one."
So, okay, we're gonna start lining up. If anyone wants to take a question, no pushing, shoving, or be kind.
You can push it up.
It is-
This was a little crazy.
So, what did you think about Avatar? That was
I love it, and I love it more than Korra. I watched Korra too. No, I was in Korra too. So I'm not like playing favorites, but I like that better. My son liked Korra more though. He likes steampunk kind of stuff, so he loved it. Good, and we watched it a couple times now. It's like a thing that it's like a comfort. Like what's going on Avatar? It's fun. Because of me, I had my ex-husband said, "Do you just only let them watch shows that you're on?" And I was like, "We're just on all the shows." So.
I want to touch briefly on your incredible music career. Then we'll throw it to the question.
I have a single that came out yesterday called "The Pieces," and there's a guy named Les Green who played the voice of Little Richard in the Elvis movie, and he's just incredible. And he was on American Idol and all these things. And so I wrote a bunch of songs for him to sing, but then he was like, "I want you to sing half of them too." So some of the songs like, "I think you should be a black girl singing this song," but that's okay. So but Les told me to do it, so I was like, "Oh, I'd rather him sing it. That's fine." So yeah, he sang half the songs and I sang half the songs, but I wrote all the songs, and it's coming out June 5th, and it's called Gray and Green because he's less green. Anyway, it sounds like a bruise or something. Anyway, but the song "The Pieces" is streaming everywhere. Yeah, so I like it. It's sort of like a throwback to like if you like I don't know, like Creedence Clearwater or something. I don't know. It's cool. My songwriting is my secret love. My son had a podcast for a while. It never went anywhere. It was pretty much only on my phone. He would interview people. He came to work with me, and he would interview incredible people backstage. Like Val was back there, and just all these huge, amazing people. And I said, "Do not ask them about the thing they're here for because they don't." I mean, I love talking about it, but some people they shut down and heard this question so many times. I said, find out what their weird thing that they do that nobody recognizes them for, and that's the thing you need to ask them about. So I come alive, and people are like, "Oh, tell us about your music." I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad you asked." But I do have a career in Europe. I'm going on a European tour in May. I go to Ireland and all over the Netherlands. I'm not the Hasselhoff of the Netherlands. I play these giant theaters. They don't know anything about this. Like they have no idea. So some people have gone, and I'm like, it's like some weird thing they bring up in an interview. And I'm like, yes, in the States, I'm way more popular for that than for this. Anyway, so
We're up on Spotify.
yeah.
Wherever you
Yes. Yeah, not Spotify. Anyway, I boycotted them. Sorry, but you don't have to do it. I'm such a weird little activist, but it's funny because I was dead tired. I had gotten up at I left my house at 4 a.m. to get on a 7 a.m. flight out of LAX, and I had a long layover, and I finally got here last night around 5, and they put me at the wrong hotel. They put me at a Hilton hotel, which I'm boycotting Hilton hotel too. Anyway, but I was so tired that after that I was like, "Oh, ice is fine. It's fine. I'm tired. I didn't want to go to another hotel that I moved to because of the ice thing." And I was like, "Yeah, I support ice at this point. I just get me to bed. I'm sorry." And I was like, "My stupid activism. All right, let's get my car and go to the other hotel." But I was very tired, so I almost lost all my morals.
Not bad. My name is Aaron. I met you at the Comic-Con here in Huntsville 2 years ago.
Was the Birmingham over here? Okay, good.
I introduced myself as a prospective actor at the time, and I asked you for career advice. I do have a question. I'll look into that. I would like to introduce myself now. I would like to drop the perspective. I am just an actor these days. And I'd like to thank you and many other convention guests for helping me achieve that. I'm not big. I haven't got anything more than background, but I'm working on it.
What? Especially in the States. I think that we need to do self-written projects. I'm championing all these, and big creators are doing them, like, Jorge Gutierrez, who did the Book of Life, he's got his own thing going. My friend, I love, well, she did the Harvey Girls series, like, with us, but, she's got her own thing going. And it's called Strawberry Vampire, and she's been doing like crowdfunding for that. And so I'm like, I think that's what we have to do, because my agent took me to dinner and said, you know what, your job's not going to exist in like the next 5 years because of AI. And I was like, people don't want AI, they don't want it, but the corporations want it because they don't want to pay anybody anything. But I was like, we need to take our power back. And I just think that all these great creators should just start cracking, because the people want it. Like Critical Role, they did their own thing. They couldn't get a deal, and they raised like $4 million overnight. So people know what they want to see, and they want to see real people acting. And because I feel bad for kids watching AI shows now, because if you guys get to come and I get to give you hugs and stuff, and they're going to be just like hugging like a computer chip or something. But it'll be free, so there is a good side. Anyways. So, but go ahead. I have ADHD really bad, so in case you didn't notice.
That's what I asked you about last year. ADHD is good for acting.
It is. It's the best. Everywhere. Yeah.
But I did want to ask, in shows where they cast people to parody certain celebrities out there, they can't always afford the celebrity themselves. In season 4 of The Boondocks, I wanted to ask what your experience was like playing Kim Kardashian.
I didn't like, they just didn't want like that type of thing. So I just did some like vocal fry. Yeah, it was funny because my 19-year-old son just saw that episode. He was like, "Oh, your butt was like knocking over everything." One time he was like, "My friends are watching this show called Paradise PD, and I think you have." I know, and I'm saying so many horrible things in that show, and he's like, "That's not you, is it?" Just like the hope in his eyes, and I was like, "Oh, that's a really ruined things for you. I'm sorry." Well, congratulations on your acting career. Yes, keep fighting, forgiven. Hey. And there was a big controversy because everybody knows I feel like the Lorax. I'm like, I speak no AI, and I know everybody's sick of my spiel, but a while back, this a grown person, stole a bunch of voices from Scooby-Doo and put them in his little short film, and I spoke out. We were negotiating against AI at that point in our union. We were on strike, and it was a tender time for me. And I was maybe not my best mentally. But I was like, I will never, because he was like, someday I'm going to hire you. And I was like, no, you're not. I was like, I'm never working for you. And if I'm going to tell my friends that you're like a thief who steals people's voices and no one's going to want to work with you. I was a little crazy. Wild. My son said, don't say crazy, say wild. Anyway, so I was wild. And then I felt bad, and then I contacted him privately and said, look, I'm not trying to be a jerk, and he's like, I'm so sorry. He was such a sweetheart. We talked it out, and he was like, I was just putting together this thing for a spec, and I'm hoping to get a thing, and then I'll hire real people. And I was like, yeah, but you're starting on the wrong foot by hurting all these, actors are like, we're fighting against that. So he was like, okay, I'm going to go get now. So it didn't sound good. It didn't even sound good. So he went out, and he was such a doll. He went out and found, I said, there are so many actors that I meet every day at cons that are like, I'm trying to get a reel together. I'm doing like, I was like, they would probably do it. He's like, why stop the money? And I said, I know, but it doesn't make it okay to go steal. It's like, I don't have money, but I want a Tiffany bracelet. So that's kind of what I was thinking. So I said, I'm sure people will donate their time, and a bunch of great people, and they were happy because now they've got this cool thing they can show, and he's happy because it's so much better with actual human people. And so we're all good, but people always like, every time I put up anything, there's always one person who's like, you were mean to that kid who put together a student film. And I'm like, he was a man. He was like in his mid-20s, young man, but still like, I'm like, he's my friend now. I'm thinking of better things. I'm always trying to against AI. But those people are like, a lot of them were writers, and they're like, I'm going to write something and not cast you because you're and I was like, no, you're not going to write something. AI is going to write it now. So you better start writing for you because your job's coming too. Anyway, that was my little rant.
Hi, I'm Seth Green.
Hi.
Yeah.
I know. You're the better one. I love
So growing up watching Scooby-Doo, being a child,
Yeah.
and being a heartthrob of that time.
Wow. Don't tell Freddie you said
Yeah,
that.
my question is, with the upcoming live action version of Avatar, are we going to see a cameo?
I wish. I think, even though everybody pirated it already, and Oh, that's so heartbreaking. If you pirate it, you have to swear to me that you will actually watch the one when it comes out. Because if they don't get viewers, they're gonna go, oh, not a good investment. We're not gonna put any more of these out because it didn't make any money. So it's okay, it's okay. If it just at least be a good commercial for it, tell other people like it's great. You could be like the test audience. I'm not, because I think it's a good reason. I think they're casting Asian American actors in that, which I totally support, because they probably should have done that when I did it, but it was a different time. And I'm secretly glad that they made the wrong choice, because now I'm here. And I'm glad I got my shot, but it's good they kept telling me they're like, no, it's not an Asian American show. It's not. And I was like, it isn't. Looks like it is, when I was auditioning for it, and they're like, no, it's a fantasy world, and it has nothing. And I'm like, okay, I think it is, but I think you want to put white people in it. So anyway, that was okay. Huh? You, Madison. Yes, good to see you.
Thank you so much for my childhood, basically. I was wondering if you have any advice for someone who wants to get into something.
I think improv is a great thing. It'll help you think on your feet. I always put like a funny thing in my auditions. I try to think of few different funny little shorts, because they don't like it to mess with their time, but if it's a thing that's short and funny that makes their script better. Because I used to when I first moved to LA, I started at a casting place, and that was the best training ground, because people, we hear the same thing over, and everyone's amazing, because everyone got an agent and they got to a certain level. So every single person's amazing. So anything you could do to make yourself kind of stand out a little bit will help you. Because we used to always, Tress McNeil from The Simpsons. At the time, she was just acting like her. Now she's like, I'm on The Simpsons, so I'm fine. She was on it from the beginning. She doesn't ever need to work ever again in her life. But I'm the tail end of the sense. I make the scale. I make whatever the regular people make. But she used to always put a funny little button at the end of everything she did. So they would ask me, Grace, who do you think we should cast? And I'm like, they were all great. I don't know. That one lady who said the thing, that was funny. I remember her, and they're like, trust me again. She's so funny. And I was like, remember that. So now I always try to put a little funny thing, and that'll make you stand out. But improv helps you think of things on the fly like that. So, and also as many fans as you get on your own, like via Twitch or YouTube, or Brizzy. I don't know if anybody knows Brizzy Voices on YouTube. Yeah, so I saw one of her videos, and I was like, she is incredible. So I wrote to her and said, hey, when you come out to LA, and so it was really heartbreaking, because my son at the time, he's 19 now, but he was like 10. And he was like, my favorite voice actor, Brizzy. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay. All right. Anyway, but then I saw her and I was like, wow, she's amazing. So anyway, I contacted her and said, if you're in LA, come, I'll take you around with me, and I'll introduce you to people, and you can come to my auditions and kind of watch what I do. And so she did. I give that advice to so many people, and no one ever takes their on it. But she did. She did all the things that I told her to do. And we actually Bayonetta together. So she played my daughter in Bayonetta. Yeah. I call her my little cousin. Everybody always thinks she's really my niece. I'm like, she's my niece. And everybody's like, they're related. I wish. She's adorable. Yeah. So keep going. It's going to be great. Yeah. Get your own fans too if you can. They hire people a lot of times that are influencers. Some people, I'm like, how do they get this part? And then I look online and I'm like, oh. Hi.
I was gonna ask, I was really surprised that you had just recently seen that all through. And I know that happens for 100%. But what I was curious about is that there are spin-off comics, particularly one called Merch.
Yes.
I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read them, but it's about Zuko and Zulu's mom.
I know. Everybody wants to know what happened to mom. I was sure dad kidnapped her and did something terrible. I watched too much true crime. He's a narcissist. I have it. Dante wanted me to do it too, because we were going to do TikToks and stuff, but then I was afraid of TikTok because I'm such a loudmouth online that I'm like, they're going to find my information and send it to a camp. I'm a little paranoid, but box right twice a day. Yeah, so I haven't read it yet, but I know I'm going to. I did order one book, and it showed up on my porch, and someone stole it. How dare they? They'll never rise from the ashes of their shame and humiliation. It was hungry. They should have given more. But yeah.
My name's Wesley.
Hi, Wesley.
One role that hasn't been brought up yet in this panel so far is your monster girl in Invincible.
Yes, yeah. He sounds a lot like Emily Elizabeth, but just a little bit cooler.
The question is, if Mandy existed in the Invincible universe, do you think Cecil would try to recruit her to the Guardians of the Globe, or do you think she would pose such a big threat that you would actually say, hey, can we try to get the Viltrumites on our side this time?
Well, no, the world did fall on its axis when I sang that time, so I don't know if I'm safe.
Please
Mandy's
don't
not really a
smile.
team player either. Yeah, I won't smile. I don't say. Thank you. I love you.
Hi there, I'm Jack. Your voice work really is prolific through a dartboard at any Marvel or DC character or not, so it's probably placed somewhere. Of course, you're working Batman to Bring the Bold as Black Canary is fantastic and showcases city jobs. I want to ask about the Master Malone episode you got, which didn't air. You guys sang such a late song.
I love it. I think they aired it like in Australia or something. Someone put it on YouTube. The Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey. It was great.
So we're making that song. You ever think, it's probably not going to let us do it.
No, I don't know. Honestly, that was when like standards and practice started really clamping down because we used to get away with so much. Like, I mean, even Billy and Mandy, there's stuff that I know they wouldn't let us do now. You know, so yeah, we were kind of the bratty kids in class going, oh yeah, of course, and then yeah, it took a turn. But I'm glad that somebody bootlegged it.
Hello, I'm Robert.
Hey, Rob.
I have kind of a sad question.
Yeah. First, I thought you said a sad question. I was like, oh, Robert.
But
Okay,
like,
yes.
right now, I'm not nowhere near active, but if I ever did, there's so many people like with my name or with my initials. I like how, and like for yourself, starting as Great DeLisle, how was it? Was that name cleared, and then did you have to switch? To
My name really is Erin Gray. Well, Gray. I got married when I was 19. I don't know. That guy lives in Canada now, but it was funny because I ended up setting him up with the woman that he ended up marrying after me. But then after that, she completely cut me off and don't. Oh gosh, if she would watch this. Anyway, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, Allie. Anyway, but yes, she just kind of stopped being friends with me after she got him. But I was like, I gave it to you. It's fine. But it was funny because I heard they were looking for a house later, and the person was like, DeLisle, any relation to the voice actor? And he goes, I gave her that name. That's mine. She took it. And anyway, but yeah, so my name was Erin Gray Van Osprey, a Dutch name. So I started trying to go by Erin Gray, and then Buck Rogers messed that up. So then I was like, okay, I'll go by my middle name, Gray. Then I started not going by Gray to people like socially, but just acting wise. And then I was that person that people were like, at auditions, that they'd be like, Gray, and I just, oh my God, that's me. That's me. So anyway, so I just started going by it all the time. Yeah. So, so Erin Gray was not cleared because she's actually she actually books people for these conventions now. That's her job. She has like her own company, Erin Gray, that actress. So anyway. Yeah. Hi, the name you love. Hello.
Hi, Gray. It's been a while.
I found the avatar.
I keep hearing that all day. Hi, my name is Saquon, DQ for short. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, and I work as a audiovisual technician.
Wonderful. I haven't been to Nashville because of my songwriting. Yeah.
That's exactly why I came in to ask you. See, you were talking about doing an European tour, and I would like to know if you plan on doing a small, intimate American tour in select cities, because I think Nashville's the perfect place to go.
Well,
And as an AV tech, I would love to work for you.
You're so sweet. I do play in Nashville. Last show I did, there was the Nashville Palace. I do a songwrite. I guess songwriting it's not even performing. It's like I like to write songs. And I write songs all the time. I'm writing songs with Paul Williams, who played the Penguin. But his claim to fame is songwriting. He's the president of ASCAP. I met him at one of these, and I was geeking out because of his songwriting. So I was Catwoman. He was Penguin, but that's beside the point. He was like, "Oh, are you?" a cartoon person? I was like, well, yeah. I was like, but mostly I'm a songwriter and you're the president of ASCAP and I think you're amazing. And I was going through his catalog, all the songs I love. And he wrote We've Only Just Begun, he wrote, well, the old fashioned was just an old fashioned love song, and yeah, Muppets, yeah, I mean, all the Muppets, my favorite Christmas special, which is Otter, Emmett Otters, I love so much. But he did we watched Bugsy Malone. My kids and I watched Bugsy Malone. He was actually in that as the piano player and wrote all the songs. Anyway, he's a legend. But we've written 3 songs together now so anyway, songwriting. So I do this thing called DeLisle's Song Swap Meet at the Nashville Palace. And so it's just songwriters of all, they come up and do 3 of their original songs, and then we do a big thing together at the end. So I do that quite a bit. Yeah, and there's also stuff there. I love vintage clothing too. So there's little tables where people sell their vintage goods. So it's kind of like a swap meet, and it's a song swap, and it's a performance, and everybody gets drunk, and it's great. Come on now. How you doing?
That was my question. And if you were in the Avatar world and you weren't Azula, what power would you want right now?
I would want to be Katara so I could kick my own butt. Katara is such a cool character. I'm secretly jealous. Yeah. So I would want to waterbend, I think. Yeah. But not bloodbending. I wouldn't pick that. I feel like it's amazing that Azula didn't do that. That shows some restraint. Thank you.
My name is Lucian, and this is my first time attending a con.
Right, Lucian. One of my favorite artists is named Lucian Freud. Do you know who that is?
Unfortunately, no.
Look him up. He's Lucian Freud. He's incredible. And I think he lived back in it's a deep cut, but on the internet. Anyway, yes.
So in Billy and Mandy, I can't remember the episode, but there was an episode where Billy had his eyes messed up and Grim was trying to fix it at the site. And I know there was a scene where it all changed to kind of an anime aesthetic, and there was a line where Mandy spoke in Japanese. Do you know Japanese, or was that just a one-off?
That's an internet rumor that I don't want to change. Doesn't makes me seem cooler. No, because I had done Papayami Yumi and I was doing that show at the time, and there was an original. Yeah, that's why I'm glad they're doing Asian casting for Avatar, because I took all the Asian roles in the 2000s. But no, there was they put this. They had a woman in it, but she was just not a good actress, and so they called me at the last minute, Gray, we have an all Japanese cast, but this one woman we can't use. She's just that person. Sorry, Allie, and sorry whoever that actress was. This is gonna go viral, and people are gonna be like, Gray, you talked crap about so many people. But it wasn't working out. So I was a last minute replacement for Papayami Yumi, and I had to go in and redo a bunch of that woman's lines and everything. So, but the other actors were Japanese, and so they spoke Japanese, and I had to learn all my lines phonetically. But the coach that was coaching us said, "Your pronunciation is better than Japanese." I said, I'm a singer. So I feel, because when you're a singer, you can kind of hit languages, or you can hear the notes that you have to hit in the word. So, but there was a whole rumor on Wikipedia that was she speaks Japanese. Anyway, but I haven't even been to Japan. I want to go so badly. Waiting till there's a con, because I don't want to pay them. I do have 3 children. I'm supporting them on my own, so I can't be taking people to Japan unless it's free. Hi. Oh, what you have a great voice.
Earlier you were talking a little bit about the state of the voice acting industry, so you technically kind of answered a bit of the question I wanted to ask. So I guess if I have a different one, could you tell us a little bit about your experience voicing Carmelita in Slide It's Time?
You dirty ringtail, I'll tell you about that. I chased this dirty ringtail all over the globe. I was trying to arrest him, but I ended up falling in love with him. It's terrible. I thought I didn't get it. And those politicians are please clap. No, but I was funny because actors always think they're this, we have a low self-esteem. We're empty inside. People are always oh, I'm not bothering you. I'm a big fan. I'm no, you're not bothering me. I'm empty inside. I am people to stop me on the street and tell me anything. But I thought that I had done a bad job because they didn't ask me back for the next one. And then I found out they have a different Carmelita for everyone. Not I'll not end things now. But, yeah, no, I had a great time and it's just an honor. And it was funny because my oldest son was a fan of we're a Waldorf family. We're not supposed to be playing any video games, but his friend had it. So he became kind of a fan of it. And he was running around the house with like this homemade, like thing and like a hat. And then he's like, and I was like, you dirty ringtail, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, I was like, you mom? I was like, so cool for a few minutes.
Yo, it's me, already got the second question. Invincible was brought up, as most people I'm sure know, season 4 is airing right now. I was hoping something would have happened to your character, Thula, that I could ask you about, but I guess we'll have to wait till the finale later this week. But when I spoke to Ross Marquand about Phil Lamar's character, Lucan, and your character, Thula, he actually revealed to me before I even attended this panel that you don't watch the show. And he gave you a little sauce for that. Is that
I don't even know when we're on the show together. I love Ross. Ross and I are good friends. He was next to me and I saw, I was like, oh, Invincible? Are you like, yeah, but now I know because there's so many famous people in the show that's why Ross and I play so many characters in the show. Because I play Eve's mom, Thula, Monster Girl, Shrinking Ray, a lot of the cyborg, anyway, it's because the famous actors on the show really can do like themselves. And so whenever there's another voice, they're like, oh, just give it to Ross or Greg.
I'd like to say, Viltrumites are mostly defined by their incredible voice cast. J.K. Simmons, Phil Lamar. I think you belong right there alongside Jeffrey Morgan.
Thank you so much. I got a part one time and I was like, how did I get this part? I didn't audition for this part. It was a movie with Luke Wilson. It was like bears and I can't remember, but anyway, I played the wife. And then I was like, I didn't audition for this movie. How did I get this? And the director said, J.K. Simmons, this is before Invincible. It's like J.K. Simmons recommended you. And I was like, J.K. Simmons knows who I am? What? And then when I saw him, I was like, thank you so much. Super famous for like Academy Award. How did you? And he goes, no, we did a thing a long time ago. And you did like 10 different voices. And so I never forgot that. So when they asked me who would be good, I was like, there's a woman that you have to hire. And I was like, you get a muffin basket. I saw you again, like you and your mom. Yeah. So, yes.
On the meeting, and Sam.
Yes.
I wanted to ask if Sam was the one in, turn it around to us, or was it Alex?
I haven't seen that show in like 25 years. Even when I did see it, I saw one episode because I was doing I was at a school and they wanted me to talk about it. And I was like, I've never seen the show, so you need to show me the thing. So they did. They showed me one episode where the plants, like a plant takes over everything. That's the only episode of anything that I've ever seen. So I can BS you right now and make something up. But I am a single mother of 3 children. I don't get to do anything that I want. Everything is what they want. So whatever they get into is what I have to get into. But when they all go to college, I'm going to watch some shows of my own. I have watched The Loud House because they do like The Loud House. So yeah, so I'm sorry. I wish I could have fun and improv with you about Sam. But I do know, I know, I know Sam is just a creature of the night, doomed to a family of mourning. And I remember the box goes very well because Rob Paul's it's one of my dear friends. Yeah. All right, box schools. He was also Mark Chang on, which was the best voice for an alien. Everyone else came into that. When the auditions for Mark Chang came out, everyone did an alien voice like this, and we heard like 10,000 alien voices. That's another thing. So being on the casting side, if you ever are auditioning, if there's any voice actors out there, if it says like a prototype, like we want a Fran Drescher or something, that's an old reference. I shouldn't say that. I was like, okay, mom. Anyway, but they'll just say as a celebrity, and at the time, Fran Drescher was on everything. And so everybody, and we just get so sick of listening to that. So what I would do is like, if Fran Drescher got sick and they had to put some other actress in there, who would they pick? And then I would do that voice because their ears were so tired of that. And then by the time it got to me, they're like, oh, that actually works. And so that happened with Mark Chang. Everybody was sick of the alien voice. And then he was like, what's that? Plutonia, where was he from? Plutonia or something like that. Mesopotamia or something like that. Anyway, so then we were like, oh, that's perfect. That's great. So that's And same thing with Grimm, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Everyone did a British accent for Death, of course. You know, for the Grim Reaper, you just think of British, but you know, everyone was great, you know, and then when Grey Eagles came in with that Jamaican accent, it's like, yes. So, anyway.
My name is Rachel Wallace. I'm in here in Huntsville. Growing up, we watched it like at first it was like on streaming on Nickelodeon. And I kind of didn't watch it because it was hard to connect all the pieces, but then when it fully came out, I sat and watched it all fully. It's like, wow, this is such an amazing show. I wrote her into it, and so love.
Oh, that's so great. I love it. They didn't advertise it very well. So it's all been like word of mouth, people making people watch it if they want to be part of their life.
We love it. It's so good to hear. I was wondering if I could request a few voice lines.
Yeah, sure. Yes. It's a sharp outfit, Rachel. Is it Rachel Wallace? Careful. You can puncture the hull of an Empire-class Fire Nation battleship. You can balance the trial and see. My own mother thought I was a monster. She was right, of course, but it still hurt.
Name's Kylie. Here with my husband, and we have two castings to go in this.
Together, you'll be the strongest couple in the entire world. You'll dominate the air.
So my question is, how many pets?
I was just telling somebody, because I love when I'm stressed out. It's terrible. It's terrible. But I watch like body cam footage on YouTube. I know it's terrible. Mostly I'm advocating for people. But there was one lady who was getting arrested, but she was like, wait, I gotta get my dog, because her dog ran out of the house, and she's like, sorry, oh my gosh, my dog's crazy. Sorry. My world's collided. I was like, of course the crazy dog's name is Zula. So yeah, I meet people at every con who have, and even children name Azula, which I'm like, oh, I don't know. But yeah, there's lots of cats, of course, because he tells me meow, which is bad. Giving his claws. Zula has a very feline personality. Yeah.
Wrap up very soon. Any projects you can share with us that you're working on right now?
Well, all kinds. And we're still doing Loud House. We're doing the Simpsons movie, and I'm doing all the scratch for that. So I know my kids are Simpsons fans, so they're like, my dad. I was like, I can't tell you have big mouths. I know they have big mouths because I have a big mouth, so which is why. And more Invincible. There's more Vox Machina stuff, and oh gosh, all kinds of fun things. But honestly, I'm starting to develop my own cartoon, which I can't talk about yet. But I just know some of the animators were out of work, the writers were out of work. And I was like, let's make something. I have a really good idea, so I do have a really good idea. Yeah. So but also, if you follow my music on streaming, like if you leave here, just follow me on any streaming service. I have stickers. I have a Zula. It says Azula Hair Salon, and it's got like, someone cutting their own bangs. And I also have other fun stickers. So come to my table. You don't even have to wait in line. Just be like, I follow you, on not socials, but like streaming, like music platforms. Just kind of like, I'll just run you out a sticker. So yeah, thanks so much, you guys. This was so much fun. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat something real quick, and I'll be back at my table in about 45 minutes. Okay.
As I can't remind them that you already been here.
Our general mission is to vacate the panel room.